what we're doing is we're inflicting damage ultimately to ourselves as humans, but also to the web that sustains life for all life. And so I think the framework of the commons is to really literally wake up and recognize that we are one interbeing and that humanity is not superior but interconnected to all life. Finding a way for our economic system to be in harmony with our biosphere is the challenge of our time. Our current economic system is life blind. It doesn't see the difference between a parking lot or an ancient rainforest. My name is Atossa Soltani. I am here at the Earth Commons Conference in Berkeley, California. It's great to be here among lots of amazing thought leaders. My work has been for 33 years working alongside, in partnership and allyship with indigenous peoples, protecting the Amazon rainforests. This work is really about defending and protecting the lungs and the heart of the biosphere. Many people know the Amazon as the lungs of the earth, in the way that the rainforests breathe in CO2 and breathe out oxygen. Indigenous peoples have always said the Amazon is the heart of the biosphere. And what scientists are now confirming is that the Amazon actually acts as a massive hydrological pump that drives rainfall and weather systems around the world, maintains the stability of the global climate, is a rain machine for the planet. We all depend on the Amazon for rain, for climate stability, and if you consider the climate crisis, there is no way to stabilize the global climate without protecting the Amazon rainforest. What is the value of what the Amazon rainforest does, which is pump moisture into the air, drives weather systems, and cools the planet? What is the value of that? The amount of water that the trees in the Amazon lift up in form of water vapor when they open their pores and evapotranspire is about 1,000 liters per tree per day. The combination of all of the water vapor that the trees in the Amazon put up in the sky generates atmospheric rivers that are larger than the Amazon River itself. And those atmospheric rivers come north to California, for example, where we depend on rain in the springtime that comes from the rainforest, and go all the way south to South America, where 90% of all the rain that falls on the continent of South America is driven and pumped and cycled by the Amazon rainforest. To replicate that service, that ecological service for the planet that we all depend on, it would take the combined output of 55,000 Itaipu dams. That's the second largest dam in the world. The combined output of electricity from 55,000 Itaipu dams is what the Amazon River does for free every day. That is the definition of the commons. Life is impossible without this role of the tropical rainforest around the equator. We've lost half of the world's rainforests already through our life-blind economic system that only focuses on markets and money. The living systems of the Amazon is what we need to learn from as we redesign and rethink our global governance systems, our economic systems, our values. And we can learn a lot from indigenous peoples who are the guardians of the heart of the biosphere. The Headwaters region survived the last ice age. It was a refuge for life that helped to repopulate the entire continent of South America. And here we're destroying 7 football fields a minute of this forest in pursuit of basically converting it to something that is, driven by money. The thing that's missing in our culture that is so present in indigenous cultures is this connection and this relationship, this kinship with life. Humans are embedded in a web of life. We're not on top of the web of life. We're a strand in the web of life, and that ultimately what we do to the web, we're doing to ourselves. So we have to reconnect with nature. We have to understand how nature feeds us. We can bring it down to concepts like the commons, but indigenous peoples talk about nature as our mother, who merits respect. That our sole aspiration as humans is to be good ancestors to future generations, in reciprocity to our mother. It's an ontological shift of how we value and see nature. The commons is a great way to see nature. In your own body, every cell is keeping itself alive while also keeping the host alive. If cells are at war with one another, it's called an autoimmune disease. When cells stop seeing the host, it's called cancer. It ultimately leads to the death of the organism. In every ecosystem, life cooperates in communities of life to create more life. That is the modus operandi of nature. It's just that we've forgotten as humans that we're embedded in a cell, that we have a host, that life is interconnected, interdependent, that we're all part of the same organism. We have created human systems in the image of really a dysfunctional organism or cancer. What we really need to do is look at nature's principles and the way, nature is abundant, flourishing, distributive, beautiful, creative, artistic, and that to bring some of the principles of living systems into the way that we redesign our economy, our political system, and our values. Why are indigenous peoples so effective at maintaining life? Well, one reason is their worldview, is a shift in the way they see the world. And as system thinkers, we can change the system only by changing the goals of the system. But it's really when we change the paradigm that created the system that we can have a system that's in service to that paradigm. And indigenous people's paradigm is that they're related to all life, that all is my kin. The animals, the birds, the mountain, the river, all are my relations. They're all my relatives. It's all my family. From those ontological shifts, we can really see solutions that are in harmony with nature and aren't going to replicate the same injustices, the same top-down, the same domination types of solutions the current global market economies is perpetuating. People on the margins of the current system are actually great guides for how to reshape the system. But people at the center of the system who have power, who have money, who have influence, are in service to a different worldview, and maybe those folks could really learn from the people on the margins. The Sacred Headwaters Alliance, which is the organization that I've been in service to for the last 7 years, is actually working to support an indigenous-led alliance of 30 indigenous nations in an area the size of the state of Oregon, who are working to not only protect and defend their territories, but also shift the worldview and shift the systems that are driving the destruction of the natural world. Longevity of these trust relationships are key to the successful conservation work, to the key to creating things that work, and also understanding how every solution can also be a threat if the process wasn't well done, or if it isn't owned by the people on the ground. It can then be part of the colonization and domination trend that we've seen for 500 years in the Americas. Let's invite a different way. And in the process, I think people will tell you, we become allies and we become family. And we help to be in service to the work on the ground in a way that is mindful, thoughtful, and also effective.